Hey, good morning, everybody. This is the first video of 3 for Writing 304 this fall. And I just want to talk a little bit about how to workshop a poem. And what I want to do is just get people to move beyond saying, I liked it. So when you're workshopping a poem, these are some things I want you to think about as you're giving kind of verbal feedback in class and also written feedback to people. So like I said, I want you to move beyond just saying, I liked it, and here are some things that you can do to help with that process and to help everybody become better writers, better poets. So one thing that I want you to do is look at features of the poem, and this is meant to be concrete, and several of these features of the poems are on the PowerPoint slides that I've got on the Moodle page for this course. So for example, what's the quality of the language in the poem? Is it too wordy, for example? Also, does the title have a good connection to the poem? And what do you think about the content? Also, people should think about what your kind of personal reaction is to the poem, but also you can think about what other people might say about the poem. And this kind of gets at the nature of poetry itself. The kind of poetry you're writing is lyric poetry, and lyric poetry addresses a specific emotional or psychological state. And so you can talk about what you think the poem's kind of feeling is, or what the idea is that the poet is trying to express. To be even more specific, you can focus your comments on the technique of the week. So for example, in the first week of the course, we'll be looking at the stanza. And the stanza means literally little room in Italian. And so a stanza can be one line or several lines in a poem. But when you have a break in a poem, that's when a new stanza begins. Just a couple more things I want to say about the workshop process. Maybe the most important one is keeping an eye out for cliche, regular language. We fall back on common terms of phrases like cats and dogs. It's raining cats and dogs to describe a hard rainfall. So your job as poets and also as your readers of your friends is to point out cliches and help people write as originally as possible. And this leads me to my final thing on workshopping poems, and that is it can be tough to receive criticism. And what I like to think of, there's a phrase I like to think of, and that is when you're critical of somebody's poem or something, you can think of it as a missed opportunity, that places where maybe the poem isn't working, those actually are the most important places to comment on and to recognize, because that's where you get better as a poet. I also think that certainly you can point out what you think are strengths in a poem, but you want to make sure that your comments are balanced. Okay, that's the end of the first video, and the next one I'm going to do is on how to close read a poem.